And welcome everyone to Missouri Valley Conference Katz Chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Cuonzo Martin, head coach at Missouri State. And Cuonzo, getting ready for a Valley game against Indiana State. So let's first take stock on where you guys are through 8 games. Razor thin between maybe you could be 7-1, maybe 8-0. Just give me a little. Des White's obviously playing well. You got a couple guys that are scoring really well. Give me a sense of where this team is at a month into the season.
I like our team. I like the way we plan. We do a great job of playing together. With 17 total guys and 15 new ones, I think our camaraderie has been great thus far. And they're a joy to be around. They compete hard. We lost some tough ones, but we continue to get better. And I think now all of our guys are getting healthy, so it's feel good to see us playing right now.
You've had some neutral site games. What as you take stock before you get into the Valley here, do you think sort of the biggest room for growth is at this point?
I think continue to get our big guys on the interior more minutes. One of our big guys didn't travel with us to the Caymans because of his passport, but he's back with us. Just get those guys in a consistent flow because Mike Bonsu's playing very well for us, and get one or two other guys in heavy rotation because I think they can help us with their physicality and athleticism.
As I said, it doesn't feel like scoring the ball has been as much of a concern. What defensively would you like outside of maybe obviously in the interior? But you tell me, what do you need to tweak a little bit more here?
We've had to make some adjustments. I think our guys are playing hard defensively. I think the one-on-one defense, we're getting better at that. We tighten up some things in our ball screen defense, especially in the middle, and we've made progress thus far. So I think those are probably the biggest keys.
As I said, you're getting into the Valley now. And even though it's only a month in, these games count, and you don't want to dig, any kind of deep hole. So we start off with this game at home against Indiana State. Then you jump out of league again with Washington State on the road. You got Lincoln, a non-D1, Santa Barbara, and then you go back in at the end of the month on the road against Evansville. So one home, one road over this next sort of 3-4 weeks of Valley games. You've been in this kind of role before where you guys, have early season conference games, but they matter as much now as they would in late February. So how do you prep these new guys for what they're about to deal with?
Well, I think the thing I use all the time, they all count. It all counts when we play in the game, and every game matters. And we just try to take them one at a time. And they all tough for us because it's so new to us. It's not as if we have, 15 new guys returning from last year. We have a new team, so every game is different for us. Somebody steps up scoring the ball. Somebody get a big stop. Somebody rebounds the basketball. So it's fun to be a part of that. And it's also that continued growth. We enjoy being around each other. We enjoy getting better, and just one day at a time. So I think for us, the more we get a chance to practice, the better we'll become.
Already we've seen in the league, Drake, bit of a surprise, maybe not to those who've been really tracking it, but, coaching change, even though Ben did a great job at D2, and they win their tournament in Charleston. But it does sort of say to me that this league's pretty wide open, that if you can get on a run, when we get into February, the seeding, to predict what the seeding is going to be now, I think is pointless because it really could change in a lot of different ways. How encouraging is that for you with this group that, if things stay going well, you guys should be in the thick of this?
Well, we get better every day, regardless of what the scoreboard says. And I think for us, and I said it before, if they pick us 11th out of 12 teams in the Valley, then it's probably going to be the best year in the history of the Valley, in my opinion, barring any major injuries, because I feel like we have the parts to be tough, to be competitive every night, home or road. And as you know, it's a great league. But to pick us 11 out of 12, it's going to be a phenomenal league in the Valley if everybody stays healthy.
This is, I've lost count. You've had so many, you've had a lot of good jobs. You've bounced around. But this, correct me if I'm wrong, was this the biggest break that you took within your head coaching career?
Yes. 2 years.
So at this point, how much, maybe in what way are you a different coach now versus whether it was Tennessee, Cal, Missouri, back in the Valley, even as an assistant? Where do you think you are at this point in your life and career as a head coach?
I just think, wisdom. As you get older, when I started, early 28 years old, started in the coaching profession. I'm 53. You coach with wisdom, you coach with joy. And, and I can take the boxing gloves off. So it's not a boxing match, coach. You fight so many things. And I think you just kind of let go and enjoy the game, because we say it all the time, but you truly have to enjoy it. And it's safe to say I'm enjoying the game. Now, my face might not look like it all the time, but I'm enjoying the game because I feel like it's truly my ministry to be on the sidelines, assisting and helping young men grow and develop on and off the court.
Also, how much does it help that, I remember a year ago, I think it was a year ago, it's all a blur to me. I saw you at senior night. Your son was finishing at Purdue. That sort of that chapter has closed, sort of like, not to free yourself, but I mean, you got quality time watching him, and now you're giving back again with a new set of guys. How has that helped you?
Well, the great thing about watching my son play and sitting on the sidelines, but also being at home and being present to watch my daughter junior, now she's in her senior year. What it did when I got back on the sideline, it made me appreciate the little things, because everybody kid mattered. Whether it's a walk-on or star player, they all matter, and you have to give them all the same amount of time. Though they don't get the same amount of time on the floor, but you got to give them the same amount of time, whether it's a call or text, sitting to the side, laughing with them. I think it truly matters because, again, that's somebody's child, and you have to do everything in your power to assist them to get where they're trying to go in life.
I love that, because I think that's so true that, so often head coaches, when they start out early, they're grinding, they're there, burning the midnight oil at both ends, late night, early morning, and kind of lose that life balance aspect. And then when you see your child, especially if your child maybe isn't the star, and you see how important it is for them to participate, but for you to support them on the coaching aspect, for maybe even your assistants, how much has this helped you being out, seeing how important what you're talking about, that life balance, has been for your spouse, for your children, and making sure your staff has that quality time?
I've always been a guy with my staff, man. Spend time with your family. I've never been a guy to take that away from guys. You're taking your children to school, eating breakfast with your family, eating dinner, all those things. I've never tried to do those things. Plus, in today's climate with cell phones, you can get all your information around your phone. You can make your calls. But I've never been one of those guys that try to block people from their family. I just don't think that's fair, because we put so much time into it. At least you can do is allow somebody to be with his family.
All right. So Indiana State at Wazoo. I'm curious overall, how do you feel about the way the schedule has laid out? What games you chose versus games that that are obviously being sort of thrown to you that you got to play.
Well, we chose the Butler game at Butler. We chose the Cayman was already there. Washington State was already there. Washington State's tough. I'm not sure if I'd went that far out, against a talented opponent. There's so many others in the Midwest and in the South you can play, but we plan that game. We know it'll be a tough one. But other than that, we scheduled it. Now here we are.
All right. Well, should be a great week. Obviously, getting back into the Valley against Indiana State, and we'll keep checking in throughout the course of the season. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Andy. Take care.